guys, today's lesson is all about writing inequalities from word problems. A couple reminders before we look at examples. First, you want to always write your variable, your x, your y, whatever it may be, on the left-hand side. Okay, so for example, x is greater than 10. We want that variable, the x, on the left-hand side. The second thing you're going to do after you read the word problem is you're going to write any numbers that you see in the word problem. Now, for example, here I've written the 10. But there could be additional ones. You might have something like x plus 7 is greater than 10. All right, so we have constants on both sides of our inequality sign. And then finally, you're going to want to put in your inequality sign, in this case, a greater than sign. Let's look at some examples. All right, now bear with me as we work through this lesson. This is a worksheet that I've put up here that you're going to see a lot of repetition on it, but I'm wanting you just to kind of get in the habit of how to write the inequality. I say that, and yet we're actually going to start off writing an equation, something I think you're pretty familiar with and comfortable with, so I'm going to start basic. It says Joshua is saving money to start his own company. He has $100, and he wants to save exactly $500. Write an equation to show this. So think about this. We know that he has some money, plus he's going to save, and he wants that to equal the total amount. Okay, so think about what we can erase in terms of our words here and actually put in variables or numbers. So do we know what he has? We do. He has $100. Okay. Do we know how much he still has to save? We don't yet. So I'm going to have just S. Do we know the total he wants to be able to have by the very end? Yes, he wants to end up with exactly $500. So we're trying to figure out what he still needs to come up with. Okay, that is an equation. We know it has an equal sign. So keeping that in mind, we're now going to start writing inequalities. All right, so again, he's saving money to start his own company. He has the $100. We know he's going to need to save some more, so 100 plus whatever he still has to save. And here's our 500 on this side. Now, this time it says he wants this part right here to be at least $500. So altogether, this over here could be 600 or 700 or 1,000, right? But it has to be at least 500, meaning it could be equal to 500 or it could be greater than. So that would be our final inequality. Next one. Again, we're going to start off with 100, which is what he has, plus what he still needs to save. We know this has something to do with 500. Let's see here. He wants to have at most 500. So it could be equal to 500, but for whatever reason, he doesn't want this to go over 500. The very most he wants this to be is 500. So 100 plus what he still needs to save is less than or equal to 500. All right, some more examples. I think by now you know we've got the 100 plus the S and the 500. So let's look at our key word. He wants this part right here to be under 500. So to be less than. Okay? Next, he wants to save above 500. So we have our 100 plus the S. And this is supposed to be above, so it's greater than 500. Okay. Again, we have our 100 plus S. We have 500 over here, so let's see what it says this time. It says he wants to save more than, so we can see this will be a greater than. All right, number 7. Again, 100 plus S. We have our 500. Let's look at our keyword here. He wants to save less than. All right, number 8. Again, we've got our 100 plus S. We have our 500 over here. Now, this is a new phrase for us. It says he wants to save an amount exceeding. If you exceed somebody, like you exceed somebody's expectations, you exceed something, you're going over and above. So it's greater than 500. Okay, last 3, I promise. Again, we have our 100 plus S. We have our 500. This time it says he wants to save above 500, so above means greater than. All right, number 10, we have our 100 plus s, we have 500. This says a minimum, so we want this right here to be a minimum of 500, meaning it could be equal to 500, but the very least this could be is 500, so it could be greater than or equal to 500. Last one, I promise. 100 plus s, we have our 500, okay? This time it says he wants to save over 500, so this part right here needs to be bigger than 500, which of course is greater than. All right, hopefully this review of these terms will help you on today's activities. You are going to be doing some practice with word problem inequalities. You're also going to have a formative check today and then do some problems on your study guide. Let me know if you guys have questions, and remember Friday will be our review day. We'll have a practice test, and then our test is coming up on Monday, March 22nd. All right, let me know if you guys have questions.